Good morning, Miss Carf here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to isolate objects in a photograph so that you can add overlapping items. We're going to start out with this picture. First, you always want to change the image size. We're going to go to Image, Image Size. For today's project, I am going to be working at Web Resolution 72, and my height is going to be 1000 pixels. Please note that depending on the project that you're working on, the dimensions that are required might be different. Click OK. After your picture gets small, grab your zoom tool and give it a couple clicks so it gets nice and big. Now we're going to start by duplicating the background layer. So head on over to your layers and right click on that background layer, click duplicate. I want you to name each layer according to what it has on it. Today we're going to be working on isolating this tan building. So we're going to call this tan BD, as in tall building, tan building. We're going to turn off the background layer. Next, we're going to go over to our selection tools. We're going to be utilizing the rectangle marquee tool, which might be hidden under the elliptical marquee tool. So click and hold until you see the rectangle marquee tool. We are going to draw a rectangle nice and tight around the building. Now, if you don't like how this turned out, you can click Control D to deselect and try again. After you have selected your building, the next step is to mask the surrounding buildings. So we're going to go to the bottom of our layers to the mask tool, which is down here at the bottom of your layers. When you click on that, everything else disappears. Go grab your zoom tool by clicking the Z on your keyboard. Give it a couple of clicks. I'm using my spacebar to move around. There are several ways to remove the surrounding sky around the building. The first tool that I'm going to show you is the magic wand tool. Now the magic wand tool might be hidden in your on your screen. So to find it, count 4 tools down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Click and hold, and the magic wand lives in that area. The magic wand works by selecting everything that is the same color as what you click on. We have a tan building with a blue background, which means that the blue background is very different from the tan building. Up at the top, there's something that says tolerance. That is how precise the tool is going to be. The higher the number, the less precise. We're going to leave it at 30 for now. Click on that blue background, and Photoshop will automatically select everything that is the same color as what you clicked on. Now, as you can see, there are some areas that the magic wand did not select. To add to your selection, hold your Shift key. You're going to see a plus sign show up, and now you can continue clicking on the areas where Photoshop missed selecting. I'm holding down my space bar to move down, and I'm holding my Shift key to continue selecting. Now that Photoshop has selected all those blue areas, we now need to fill those blue areas with black so that our mask will cover those areas. Make sure that your mask is selected. Now, go grab the brush tool, which is the letter B on your keyboard, and ensure that the black is on top. There's a little arrow right here. Click on it, and that will switch from the black to the white, or you can click the letter X to switch back and forth. Now that the black is selected, simply go over it with a very large brush. Remember, to change the size of your brush, you can use the bracket keys on your keyboard. Now that I have removed those areas, I am going to deselect by clicking Control D. I still have some remaining areas that I need to delete, so I'm going to make my brush a little smaller, and I'm just going to go in with my brush and manually cover those up with black. I have a little bit of a building left over on the right hand side. I'm going to go grab the rectangle marquee tool, and I'm going to draw a rectangle along the edge of my building right here, And now that that area is selected, I'm going to grab my brush tool by clicking the letter B. I'm going to make a big brush, load it with black, and I'm going to continue to cover up those areas. On the left side, I also have some more building that I need to cover up. So again, I grab my rectangle marquee tool, and I'm going to shave off the area on the left. Now I'm going to grab my brush tool, and I'm going to cover this area with black. I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. I want to point out that depending on the shape of the object that you're trying to isolate, there are different tools that you can use. Obviously, if your building is rectangle, then you would use the rectangle tool. But there's also an elliptical selection, which is for round objects. If your object is organic, like a hand or an animal, then you could use the lasso tool. And finally, if your object is very colorful and bright and different from its background, you can use the magic wand. I'm going to isolate a second building now. So I'm going to turn off this layer by clicking on the eye. And I'm going to go back to my background layer, and I am going to right click, duplicate. This time I'm going to isolate the short building in the front. So I'm going to call this short BD. Click OK. Turn off everything else except for this one layer. We're going to repeat the process. We're going to grab our marquee rectangle selection tool. We're going to draw a nice tight rectangle around that building. And we're going to go to the bottom of our mask, and we're going to mask everything. Zoom in. This time I'm going to show you how to remove the buildings up here by using the rectangle marquee tool and tilting it. So I want you to draw a nice big rectangle, and then right click inside this rectangle with the right mouse, the right button, and I want you to go to where it says transform selection. This allows you to rotate your rectangle. Rotate it until it matches the top of the building. Hit enter, and now that you have that area selected, all you have to do is grab your brush tool with the letter B on your keyboard. Make sure you make it nice and big, because it will only paint in the areas that are selected. We are now going to clean up the left side. Same process. So draw a big rectangle, right click inside of it, transform selection, rotate it by grabbing the corner, move it from the inside, and tilt it until it matches the edge of your building. Hit enter, grab your brush tool, and cover it with black. Control D to deselect. The left side of my building still has some stuff that I need to remove, so I'm going to grab that marquee tool, and I'm going to go right up against the building, and again grabbing that brush tool and brushing against the edge. Now that I'm done, I'm going to grab my move tool. Actually, I'm going to grab my zoom tool, and I'm going to zoom out. Now that I have removed this building from the background, I'm going to go back and turn on my other elements, my other layers. I am going to be adding this person in between the buildings. This person has been resized to match the same size as the other document. Now that he is ready, we're going to right click on him, and then we're going to go to duplicate layer, and I'm going to send him over to my other document by under destination. Click OK. And now he is in between the buildings. And to change the order in which the buildings show up, go over to your layers and try changing the order. So I'm going to bring my short building in front of him. I can use the move tool to move him around. And let's say that I wanted him to be in front of the tall building. So that I'm going to go to the tan building, and I'm going to switch the order. Once you have an object on here, you can change the size of it by hitting Control T. T is for transform. Grab the corners and bring it down. Just a note that once you bring an object to a smaller size, you shouldn't make it bigger because it will lose resolution. Once I resize it, I can go up to the corner and drag up and down in order to rotate it. I'm going to hit enter and have fun adding objects in between your layers.